What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nayon Castle. Today we're going to start off with Eaxaim? I don't know. Castle level is a 28. It's got a level 30 archer that he validated it with. So let's jump into it and take a look at what he's got. Alright.
Is this what passes for a castle these days?
So it starts off with just this narrow room here that I can use to kite if it doesn't get too hard. It looks like he's got a nice room here that's going to make it difficult to kite, though. Oh my god. I almost died there. That is so much damage from ballistas. Holy crap. This is definitely a unique room that I haven't seen before. This is so scary. So basically just literally a ton of ballistas and just mouse wheel traps to make it so that you're stunned when you try to jump over that. It's pretty much what's going on here. Alright, so I just need to be able to get through this. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of springboard traps that are going to throw me back into this room again, so what I have to do is just hope that with a potion I'll be able to get through. So that wasn't as bad. It was easier to get through than it was to go into that room. But yeah, that room will definitely make it so you can't backtrack. There's a couple mobs here, I can just keep going and they'll eventually follow me. These springboard traps, I think, like, what are they really? I guess the only reason that they're there is for the Pete Palmer that was in this room. He ended up getting, for some reason, he ended up getting aggroed and walking into that more difficult room, which is fine, I think. Although, I mean, he is harder to fight inside of that small corridor. But I guess that's the reason for these springboard traps, to make it so that you can't just keep kiting him up into this easier part with less trap pressure and stuff like that. This silence trap I'm a little confused about. I don't think it's really going to do anything, unless there's something that I might want to kite here. It's possible that I could use, like, volley to maybe pull something, and that might be the reason for it. See if that pulled anything. I'll clean up these guys while I'm waiting to see if anything pulled. It looks like it did not, though. Alright. I think there is something up there, I just wasn't quite able to pull it. No, I guess there wasn't anything. Alright. Springboard trap there. I like those just because they can force you to take more spike trap damage. There's two little areas at the end of these two spike traps that do let you walk across, like you can see there. So if people notice the springboard traps, they're never going to step on them. I think I said spike trap the first time. I meant springboard trap. Alright, jump over this. I have 2 potions left, which I will probably use one like right now. Oh my god, I messed that up again. Alright, I'm just going to take spike trap damage, I don't care. This room is confusing. I'm not sure like what all these spike traps are supposed to do in here. Alright, and then this is the boss room. Let's see if I can headshot this Zeke. If I just kind of go through here, headshot the Zeke. That'll aggro up a little bit. A little bit of other mobs. I guess this is the reason for the room, is because you might kite backwards into this. But I would just, if it was me, I would use it like a smaller room that doesn't have this here. I don't know what you could really use. That would be different, but if you could make it so that room just isn't even there, that area, like that space that you're trying to fill up, then you don't have to worry as much about people kiting it. I could have actually skipped all of these mobs at the edge here, and I've talked about this before. The only way to really use the boss room and make it so that you can't skip mobs is to use an actual boss, because their aggro circle is much larger than the like snotters and stuff that you had spotting for you there. So you can almost always skip mobs in the boss room because the room itself is so wide that the only thing that it will actually cover it will be a boss.
That's more like it.
Alright, so yeah, pretty good castle. We'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Nayon. Castle level is a 30. Validated on this level 30 archer most likely. very high hit points, as you can see here. It's going to be difficult for me to get through this castle. I have like a lot less, 1,500 or so less, so it's going to be difficult, but we'll give it a try.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, so you have your mines at the front of your castle, or at least some of them. I might have missed one already, actually. Probably over here, yeah. Alright, so I took a couple little ticks of spike trap damage, but nothing too crazy. The ballistas are what really make it hard to actually travel across spikes without taking any damage. Because you have to time out both the ballista and the spike, and sometimes they just don't line up and you're like literally going to take damage 100%. Alright, this is going to be kind of crazy. Like most of the time I say mouse traps are bad, but sometimes I see really good uses of them, like in the last castle, where those mouse traps just DPS you down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this ballista, and then I'm going to hit the spike, not spike, the mouse wheel trap, so that I get some stun immunity to make it a little bit easier to pass through here. But I'm pretty low life right now, which is really bad. I might actually die right here. Yeah, I think I'm going to. I got stuck. I'm still stuck. I can't get through here. That's interesting. Normally mines, you can walk around them no matter what. But if you'll notice here, like, you can't actually walk around them in this room. And I was not aware of that. I was wondering why I couldn't move. I want to like kill off all of this. Like normally I would just skip this room and go straight to the boss room. That's most likely the next room will be the boss room with a lot less trap pressure than this. I'm not going to say none because I don't know that for a fact. So yeah, when in this room specifically, if the mines are up against the wall, it looks like you get stuck here and you can't go through them. So I basically tried to roll away when I was stuck down in here. I thought I could roll through here because normally you can get around mines like this. They add a little bit of extra space around them. So that you can do that. Alright, so there is a good amount of trap pressure in the boss room. This is actually a pretty difficult castle. Wouldn't be surprised if you get quite a few wins on this thing. There's like a lot of good amounts of, like a good amount of pressure throughout the entire thing. Like I can't kite this boss room backwards at all. It'd be very difficult for me to do that. It's just hard for me. I really do need to get some better gear that will actually give me hit points, because right now I just don't have enough hit points to complete castles like this. Like you have to be able to tank it at least a little bit, so you know you can actually make use of the entire health potions that you're getting. Like right now I can make use of these health potions, but I don't think they're actually my level health potions. It didn't matter how many hit points you had before, back when it was only 20-point groups, because there was no 20-point groups that could deal, you know, 2,000 hit points worth of damage in a short period of time. It was mostly you just have to sustain it. So the best way to do things would be to kill things very quickly, and then get their health globes, because, you know, mobs would always drop health globes, and this was also back when you could only have a certain number of traps in your castle as well. So my gear like really catered to that, because I was able to kill things quickly, and there was not that many traps, so you wouldn't always take trap damage. You know, there's certain areas where you're going to take trap damage, like through that mouse wheel area, you're going to take damage through that. The one interesting thing is these high-level mouse traps do actually deal a significant amount of damage. Like 250 isn't really that much to joke about. Like it's pretty good. So yeah, this castle's quite good. Be interested to know how many wins you actually get on this thing. It's pretty good. But yeah, okay, so yeah, the potions that I'm using are for level 21. So I don't know how many how much higher I could get this, but I know that the next tier would probably be more than 2600. And most of the time you're going to be potting when you get like around half, like slightly below half, because that's where you're going to start to like be able to be one-shot. So if I pot at around half, I'm going to be wasting a ton of this healing potion as well as any bigger ones. So that's why it's better to have high hit points now than to have high DPS, because there's less mobs, so that means there's less of those health globes dropping, as well as the nerf to health globes also. But yeah, we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Apple. Castle levels of 30. 1,000 crowns, which is decently high, but I'm sure people are starting to get a lot higher than this. Haven't actually looked at the leaderboards in like a week or two, but let's just jump into the castle. I do have potions. Actually, I do not have space in my inventory though. Let me just clear out some of these like things that I know are garbage for sure. Generally, I usually go through and I get rid of all of the gray items and all of the green items, because there's not going to be any upgrades for me in those. Alright, that'll be enough. And then I have to go through and check the rares and the everything above it, obviously. So let's go back and search Apple. Alright, castle level 30. Let's jump into it. I do have a few gear upgrades as well at level 30. I still haven't gotten my archer up to that point. I'm almost 29. Mainly because I find leveling very boring. Not even just in this game, but like in all MMOs. I guess this isn't really an MMO, but like action type RPGs, like, you know, Diablo 3, I found leveling very boring in that as well. So I almost died like right there, but I'm alright. I need to get over this though. Fire mines are so nerfed that I'm not even sure that they're worth it anymore. Before, those fire mines would have taken up almost that entire area, which is a lot better. I'll pull that back. Hopefully these guys, at least some of them, will walk over the springboard, the spike traps, which is exactly what they're doing, and then they basically kill themselves by doing that. They also delink from the Defendatron. Why am I taking so much damage? Alright, I'll just use another potion, I guess. This is bad though, because I think this is the first room of the castle and I used 2 potions already. I should have known those were there. Oh my god. Yeah, this is really bad. There's no way I'm gonna make it through this castle. I have to abandon all hope and go for the last-ditch effort of just running through the entire castle. And since I screwed that up already... Okay, this is so over. Yeah, that's just terrible. I almost want to just restart this entire castle over and start it again, but I'm just going to heal up. I don't like starting over. I mean, not when I'm like recording and stuff like that, because it just makes you guys have to see the same thing over and over again. But anyway, what I was saying is I was just going to try to get into the boss room. And you can see, like, this is a little bit easier. Not that much easier, but there's less traps in here, so it's easier for me to kite things. And I was hoping that I was going to be able to use my last potion to kite things around and just hope that I could make things drop health globes. As well as, like, the thing with hard caps and soft caps and stuff like that is there's only so much that can really be attacking you. So if you pull an entire castle and you find an area to kill it a little bit easier, as long as you don't like attack everything, there's only so much that can actually hurt you. So you know, I can just sit here and kite these few mobs that are actually able to fight me, and ideally I actually would not kill the boss either, because the boss is a high point count, but not necessarily that high like in the way of damage. So I can just like sit here and try to kite this forever. And as long as I don't get stuck like that, I should be fine. And then once in a while you'll find health globes like that because you're killing things. It's best if you can kill off these high hit point mobs. So I had to use volley there, which I don't really want to do, but I had to. I'll use my last potion. You don't want to use volley because it'll just aggro a lot more stuff to fight you. Like a lot of the times if there's not many Defendatrons, you can do it and kill off a lot of the trash mobs. Okay, I'm running into some problems. See if I can get any more health globes here. Not sure if there are any. There's one right here too. Yeah, that's puts me almost full. Oh my god, I can't believe that hit me. So the boss is about to die, so that means a bunch more stuff is going to start aggroing on me. So I might die like right here. Oh my god, and I stopped to attack a mine as well. So bad. That block from a Zeke shot kept me alive for a little bit longer. Health globes, where? I need you. Alright. I'll heal one more time just to get through it. But anyway, that was my plan at least. When I used like 2 to 3 health potions the very first room. When you do that, it's like almost over anyway. You can't do the castle legit anymore. The best way to do it is to just run to the boss room. It's almost always better to run to the boss room anyway, but like sometimes it's not. Like in the majority of my play in this game is like if you just run straight to the person's boss room, a lot of the times their castle is easier than it's intended, which should not be the case, but it is. And you can see that this is how this guy validated it, because his time is only 1 minute and 33. So basically what he did is he sped run through the spike traps and got to this end of the boss room, did what I did, kited back and forth a little bit. He was higher level than me, probably not as high DPS, but higher level, so he doesn't take as much and he deals a little bit more damage than I'm dealing. And then just sped run it over and over and over again until he got this time. And that's basically what I do with my castles as well. As long as you can do it, which I don't think there's any castle that if you have like an unlimited amount of tries that you can't just run to the end of the boss room and kill everything. Like you're almost always going to be able to do that in at least a one-time thing, like after trying it 10 or so times. And there's no limit to how many times you can try to validate your own castle to get the time lower, so there's no reason not to do that when you're validating it. So sometimes it makes it easier, sometimes it makes it slightly harder. I think in this one, it would be slightly easier to just run to the boss room and kill everything in it, but not so easy that like I would be able to do it all the time, like 100%. Because there's enough enough traps and enough tanky mobs in there that I wouldn't be able to kill everything without taking at least a little bit of damage. So not sure how it would work out, but either way, that's going to be the end of this video. So if you want to be a part of viewer castles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. You have to be level 20 and above, and you have to add me to your friends list so that I can use targeted attacks to attack your castle. And then eventually I'll add people to the list. I'm actually going to need to update that next time that I do viewer castles. So the next time I record viewer castles, I'm going to have to update the list. You can find a link in the description to the like little spreadsheet that I have that shows when people are going to get recorded. So I'll be updating that in the next couple of days. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.